27th Annual Great Mississippi River Balloon Race and Festival. It got started 27 years ago. The historic Natchez Foundation was needing a fundraiser, and two local businessmen had hot air balloons and decided Natchez could host a balloon event, and it's just grown exponentially since.
How has it grown over the years?
Well, actually, I think the first year had about 10 or 12 balloons. I don't remember exactly, but it was thrown together in about 3 weeks. Now we work all year long, and this year we have 63 hot air balloons.
How far do the balloonists come to participate?
We have them from New Mexico, Missouri, lots of Mississippi and Louisiana, and Arkansas, Alabama, but they come from many states.
What do you enjoy the most about the balloon race?
I've actually also been on the chase crew for 26 years, and that's always fun and exciting to help get the balloon out, get it put together, inflated, lift off, chase it down, pack it up, and start all over again.
Every year they welcome us in, and they're so appreciative of all the pilots and crew that come in, and it's so much fun to deal with the residents of Natchez and the local community, because they'll follow us, they'll help us. We don't have as much crew, so this morning people are out there, what can I do to help, and all this kind of enthusiasm that they have for this race. We have 65 balloons here this weekend. Today the winds on the surface were pretty calm, and then once you got up a few hundred feet, then they took us from the southwest to the northeast. So we knew that the best thing for us to do for Natchez to see us, the residents of Natchez, is to go across the river to Vidalia, fly across the Mississippi, and then land someplace on the Mississippi side over here in Adams County. I have been flying for over 40 years. This is all I've done right out of, even while I was in college. I took up piloting or flying, and ROTC paid that. The military did, and I'm a retired military pilot, search and rescue pilot for the Coast Guard, and now I run a collegiate aviation program in Louisiana Tech in Ruston. But for me personally, I fly airplanes, helicopters, gliders, seaplanes, you name it, I fly it. It is a great experience when you can take someone up for their first time or second time. It's a panoramic view, 360 degrees. It's quiet. You can hear people talking on the ground. You just float through the air. You are the air.
I got into ballooning. I was manager of Bell South, and I was a sponsor here back in 91, 92, 93. I just was helping out. I would come over each year and help out. Then I left Bell South, and a friend of mine owns the Budweiser distributor for this area, and he decided he wanted to buy his own balloon. So he said, look, how would you like to have your own? And I said, well, I never thought about flying one of these things. And he said, well, if I buy it, would you get a license to fly it? I said, okay. Well, it took a few years before I finally said yes, and here we are. 14 years ago, this was our first event to fly in. This weekend is my last event to fly. I'm retiring from ballooning. We're retiring the balloon, and we are going to, we decided this would be our last because it was our first.
Tell me a little bit about the places in the country that you have been ballooning.
We spent 2006, we went to Albuquerque, 750 balloons in the air at one time. That was kind of interesting, challenging. We mostly fly around Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana areas. This has been pretty much our area.
What's involved in doing a balloon race, setting up the balloon from start to finish?
Well, you spend a lot of time studying weather. Weather. It's one of those sports that you can spend hours getting ready, and in 30 minutes it all goes away with a little fog that rolls in, and you have to call it off. It's a kind of a hard hobby to keep your patience, but you have to keep your patience. We go through setting up. If we're in a competition, we set up and move a little quicker than other times. But we set up, once we start laying it out, if you have a crew that knows what they're doing, they all know what they're doing, and everybody's doing their job, and we kind of work like a well-oiled machine, I call it. And everybody's got a responsibility, and everybody's responsibility is for me to get up safely and land safely, and whoever's flying with me.
What's it like ballooning across the Mississippi River?
Awesome, awesome. It is so cool to be able to fly across that river. Last year, and the beauty of Natchez with the bluffs and all the antebellum homes, and then the delta of Louisiana over there is just awesome. Last year, I was able to, on a Saturday afternoon, fly across just off the water and rise up right here on this site here at Rosalie, right here at the fence, and come right across the crowd, and it was just an awesome time, just a lot of fun, and people really have a joy for it. It's still there's still so many people new that have never seen a balloon up close. That's one thing about the Natchez balloon races. They let everybody come out here, the Great Mississippi balloon races. They let everybody come out here and get up close and personal with the balloons, and that's what we like. We like it. We like to share it. We like the people to get up close and see what it's about. See, you know, don't just look at them and don't just stand up far. Come on up here. Let's get up close and personal.
As a novice pilot, how long did it take you to get your pilot's license so you could operate the balloon?
I started in February, and I got my license in August. So we go through training with another pilot, go through different tasks that you're required, so many hours of training. You go through FAA written exams, and once you've passed all of these, then you actually go and take a check ride with an FAA person who checks you off to decide, yes, you can get a license, or no, you can't, or you need to go back and study more. I did get it the first time.
What is the cost of ballooning as a sport?
It can range from probably 15,000, 20,000 up to hundreds of thousands. It just depends on the type of balloon. You see some of what you call special shapes balloons, very, very expensive. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, as compared to a system like this would range 50 to 60,000.
What do you like best about the Great Mississippi River Balloon Race in Natchez?
Well, the people, for one, and the people have been so involved every year. But the other thing is the beauty of Natchez and the beauty of the Mississippi River and all the tributaries and all of the lakes breaking off to the side. It's just awesome. Beautiful.
My young daughter, who was about 13 at the time, asked me to take her out and watch some balloons one weekend in Houston. So we went out Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, and this gal came up and said, "I've seen you out here the whole weekend. Would you be interested in helping organize a hot air balloon club?" I said, "Sure." So we had a meeting the next week, and we had one balloonist in town that had his license, and he had some ideas on how to form a club that would be lasting, because a lot of them would form one and they'd fly the balloon to destruction and then they'd disband it. And so he had some good ideas. So we decided we did want to start the club. And we pooled our money and ordered a balloon that night, and I called my wife and I said, "And I'm president of the club."
What do you enjoy the most about ballooning?
Oh, I just like mixing with the other pilots and the people that come out to watch us fly. You know, we put a lot of memories in people's lives by doing this.
Tell us about your balloon here and what's involved in setting it up.
We would just attach the balloon to the basket, which we've laid out already, and then we have a gasoline fan that blows air in it. And then when it gets enough air inside, then we start heating the air, and it eventually stands up. And then you either tether it or you go flying.
How many years have you been doing this?
35.
What do you enjoy the most once you're actually up in the air?
Thank you.
Well, I just like looking around and just the freedom. You know, you see various places that people don't see driving down the road.
How does the Natchez balloon race stack up with other balloon races around the country?
Oh, it's one of the premier balloon races. We've enjoyed every time we've been here. And in fact, last year they had the barge drop. I won it.
We drove over here from Texas, actually Thursday. Some friends of ours have been telling us about coming out here for years, and gosh, we've done everything. We just went up in the balloon, went to the the Lights Festival last night. Just love it here, so we'll definitely be back for years to come.
What's it like to go up in the balloon?
it's pretty cool just to get up there and get above, see the river, and see everything that's going on around here. It's just pretty cool.
What do you think of Natchez?
Love it. Love it. Just like the small-time feel here, the history to it all. It's just a really neat place.
What was it like to go up the balloon?
I felt like that I was a little fairy, like up in the sky.
What did you see when you were up in the balloon?
The carnival. The carnival.
I drove 100 miles to get here because I wanted to ride in a hot air balloon.
What was it like?
It was wonderful, smooth ride, just a good feeling being up there in the air. And I brought my family with me so they could experience it. Our first time, it was fantastic.
What do you think of the Greater Mississippi River Balloon Race?
I think it's a fantastic event, lots of fun, and we're glad to be here today.
What's your favorite part about coming to Natchez?
The favorite part is with the historical sites and also the balloon and just that good old down-home Southern hospitality.
It was a wonderful experience. My husband been wanting to do this for a long, long time, so I heard it over the radio this week, and I told him we got to go.
What was it like going up in the air?
Oh, it was so nice. It was nice and real nice and cool.
You had your daughter with you. Tell us about that.
She was a little excited and whining and crying from the excitement.
What's your favorite part of coming to Natchez?
The scenery. The scenery is beautiful.
Tell me about your balloon ride.
Oh, it was great. It was a one-of-a-kind experience for us.
What'd you see when you were up there?
We saw another grandkid hollering because they had to take him out of the balloon.
Is this your first time to come to this?
No, we've been here twice before.
Okay. What do you think of it? Tell me about it.
Oh, I love it. It's so colorful, and they come up from all over the place.
We live in Dallas, and we drove over with 4 other families to enjoy the balloon race weekend.
What do you think of it so far?
Oh, we're having the best time. The balloon glow last night was awesome, and the fireworks. It's been well worth the trip.
Now, you and your daughter just took a tethered balloon ride. Tell us about it.
Well, she was a little nervous, but we did it, and I think she enjoyed every minute of it, and I thought it was lots of fun. I've never been up in a balloon before.
What do you think of the entire balloon race?
I think the balloon race is a fantastic event that Natchez puts on every year. I grew up here, and it gets better and better every year.
Avery, tell us, what was it like to go up in the balloon? Tell me about it.
It was really cool.
All bird pilots, line them up.
Tell me, how far did you drive and why did you come?
It was about an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half, and we've never been to the balloon races before, and I've heard lots about it from people at work, so I was just really excited to come see and check it out.
What do you think so far?
Oh, it's great. It's really, really pretty.
What's your favorite part?
Probably the all burn is really, really pretty. I've been sending lots of pictures and videos to my family.
You going to come back next year?
Oh, I'm sure.
How many years you've been coming and what you like the most about it?
Well, since '91. We lived here for 7 years and then we moved back, and we love the Balloon Festival.
What's your favorite part?
The balloon glow. We love that, and the rides for the kids. This is my grandson, Lennon.
What's your favorite part?
Probably this, and then tomorrow morning we're going to the to watch them racing, so that's going to be fun.
Alexandria, Louisiana, just across the river. We've been wanting to come for years and always missed it, so we made sure we came this year.
What do you think of it so far?
Absolutely amazing. It's great. It's great. First one, so it's the best one so far.
Are you going to come back next year?
We're going to plan on it. I think so.
I'm from Norman, Oklahoma, and I came because I'd never been to one before.
What do you think of it so far?
I am so excited. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing.
Was it worth the drive from Oklahoma?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Coming back next year?
I think so. I'll bring some people with me.
We live in Dallas, Texas, so it's about a 6-hour drive.
Was it worth the trip?
Of course, we come almost every year. We love it.
What's your favorite part?
The balloon glow, and then we like to get up in the morning and watch the balloons fly. We like to track them and find them.
The balloon glow is my favorite.
Why?
Just because it's really pretty seeing all the balloons light up.
You coming back next year?
Probably so. Oh, it's been awesome.
What's your favorite balloon?
Which my favorite balloon? Probably the most colorful one right here.
You coming back next year?
Yes, sir.
On our festival site here on the Rosalie Bicentennial Gardens, we have music all weekend long, many genres of music. We have food, local food booths, and hot air balloons come down throughout the day, weather permitting, and just inflate on the site so people can see up close exactly what it takes to put this together, pack it up, the workings of a hot air balloon.
I got interested in ballooning about 30 years ago just as a whim to take my wife up for a ride and to get into aviation. I've been in aviation for many years, but to get into aviation with a family sport, and that's what this is all about.
What's the difference in flying a balloon as opposed to flying maybe a fixed wing or a helicopter?
Well, it's something you really have to get used to. In a balloon, you're just going to float along. You're at pretty much the mercy of the wind. In an airplane, you have powered flights. You can go someplace from destination to destination. In a balloon, it's really pretty much for sport.
You're standing next to your basket here. Tell us about it.
Well, this basket is made out of rattan. The rattan is actually shipped in from overseas in the Philippine areas, and these baskets are hand woven. The sophistication of these balloons today are really extreme. The structure of them is like an airplane. They are certified aircraft, and we have a burner sitting up here on top of this balloon that'll put out 19 million BTU.
How long can you fly with that much?
Well, we have actually 45 gallons of propane on board, and that will take us about 2 hours of flying time before we need to start looking for a landing place.
Tell us a little bit about when you're flying the balloon, when you actually get it up in the air, how much control do you have over it?
Actually, I have quite a bit. In fact, most of your control in a balloon is vertical control because it's all about how much heat you put in the envelope. More heat, you rise, and less heat, you come down. But direction is a little bit more sophisticated. You have to know where the wind is going, and you do wind with a small pie ball or a small child's balloon first. You look at the turn up there, and then you can gauge what your direction is going to be. So we go up and down to change direction.
Now, where have you been around the country flying your balloon?
Oh, I've been just about everywhere flying the balloon. I've also been to Japan, Austria, Australia, New Zealand. I've done ballooning all over the world.
What kind of response do you get overseas?
Oh, we have great response. In fact, ballooning is very popular in other countries. In Japan especially, they have a huge ballooning community, and the European community is just immense. But we still have great response, and we've made friends all over the world.
What's it like to come to Natchez for the Great Mississippi River Balloon Race?
For 25 years, this has been the best event that we ever go to. And if you'll take a shot of the basket down here at some point, you'll see that this balloon is representing the spirit of Dr. Steckler, who of course died of cancer a few years back, and we are still sponsored by his family every year we come here.
What makes Natchez so special?
This is just a great place to be. It's real laid back, a great place to visit. We're on the Mississippi River. We have a lot of fun. I love the folks here.
I took my first ride, and they never informed me it was habit forming. And we didn't have any kids, and the wife and I both enjoyed it. And you got to do what the wife enjoys, and I enjoyed it. And we kind of formed a little club, and we got a balloon and found an instructor not too far away, and it dwindled down to 3 couples in the club, and then 2 couples, and then just us.
How many years have you been doing it?
Almost 30 years now, almost 30 years.
Take us through the setup of your balloon.
Our balloon is a 1991 Balloon Works made in Statesville, North Carolina. And we've got roughly 600 hours on the aircraft. And it's a federally regulated aircraft, it has to have inspections. And we keep logbooks on the balloon and myself. It helps to have experienced crew. It takes about 20-30 minutes to set the balloon up or pack it up, either one. And we can fly fuel-wise for about an hour and carry 2 passengers and the pilot. We used to travel to a lot of cities, different civic activities at different towns around the area. It's kind of dwindled down. We've aged a little bit, and we don't go to quite as many as we used to. But
what are some of the places that you've been ballooning?
Well, of course, Albuquerque. We're not too far from Oklahoma, and we've done a lot in Oklahoma and Kansas and Arkansas. And of course, we live in Missouri, and we've done a number of them in Missouri, Columbia and Springfield, and Oklahoma City, Tulsa, down south part of Oklahoma down in there, some places in Arkansas, Little Rock. You know, it just goes on and on. A lot of them.
How does the Great Mississippi River Balloon Race in Natchez stack up?
Well, obviously we've been coming here a long time, so it stacks up pretty good. It's all right.
What's it like to fly your balloon over the Mississippi River?
If you're moving like we were this morning, it's not too bad. But if we're moving really, really slow and you know, we're just creeping across that river, you kind of wonder, well, am I going to have enough fuel to get across it? Because it's just about a mile wide here, but it's always worked out, so it's all right.
How much fuel is necessary for a typical balloon flight?
Well, on a good average flight, I'd say we use 20 to 25 gallons of propane.
What do you like the most about coming to Natchez?
I guess mostly it's just what I always call the good old Southern hospitality. Everybody really treats us nice, and we try to return the favor.
We're out here enjoying the balloons and all the little festivities.
What's your favorite part?
The favorite part is riding the rides and watching the balloons.
How many years have you been coming to the festival?
Oh, ever since it's been here, ever since they've had it. For the last 10 years, 10 to 12 years we've been here. And before that, we were in high school. So now we're bringing our child with us and letting her enjoy it.
My favorite part has been the balloons. They were beautiful.
Was it worth the drive?
It was absolutely worth the drive. This was our first time, so.
Are you going to come back again?
We will definitely come back.
We're from Summerall, Mississippi. We drove about 2.5 hours to get here, and we came to see the balloons.
What do you think of them?
They're beautiful.
How'd you get into ballooning?
Lack of a better idea. I've been a fixed wing pilot, you know, since the 70s, and looking for something affordable and fun to do. Yeah.
How many balloons have you had?
One. This is it.
Tell us about the balloon, when you bought it, how much it costs, and a little bit about what you have here.
Okay, it's a Aerostar balloon under a Cameron basket. The name of the balloon is Shenanigans. It's 90,000 square foot. It's got a My Sky design. Kind of looks like a peacock on one side, going up one side, going down the other. Paid about $15,500 for it in 2008. Yeah.
What's involved in maintaining a balloon?
Well, it's like any other aircraft. It gets annualed once a year. And, you know, besides that, really not a whole lot.
What cities have you traveled to with your balloon?
Let's see, we went to West Palm Beach, Florida this year. Natchez, we go to Decatur, Alabama, Tupelo, Mississippi. You know, generally one long trip a year and then, you know, a few short ones. We're, like I said, from Memphis, so some close to it.
What do you like about coming to Natchez for the Great Mississippi River Balloon Race?
This is my first time. This is our first time to bring Shenanigans here. And, you know, just really kind of love what I've learned about the city. It's supposed to be a real fun event, well ran.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about ballooning so close to the Mississippi River.
Well, I understand the last thing you want to do is have winds carrying you down the Mississippi because you'll just stay over the river the whole time. So, you know, prevailing winds taking us over the river. It's just a, you know, beautiful place to fly.
How have you seen the sport grow over the years?
Well, I started in 08, so, you know, locally we've got 2 more pilots than we did in 08, so it is growing a little bit. It's a social sport. Anybody, if you can drive a car, you can learn to fly a balloon. You know, it's the equivalent of, you know, having a bass rig and going to bass tournaments. So it's not real expensive and it's not hard to learn.
I have a number of thoughts. One is credit to the community. You know, this was a visionary plan 27 years ago. It's been a success every year. It builds on it. And I'm so proud of the community for thinking of this. It's done by a foundation. The benefits go to charity to benefit those who are less fortunate, and it's just a great festival in the great American tradition. The other thing I would notice is that tourism is what economic development is all about here in Natchez. Tourism is job creation, and at a time when we have a higher unemployment rate than we need to do everything we can to encourage every form of job creation. And the people here in Natchez, this weekend festival, are absolutely bringing the people in. They're bringing the tourist dollar. They're giving them value for their tourist dollar, and all the way around. It's good for charity. It's good for community development. It's good for job creation.
There's so much history in Natchez, Mississippi, and as we go older, coming on to the year 2016, we'll celebrate our tricentennial. We'll be the first city on the Mississippi River to celebrate our 300th birthday, followed by New Orleans a year later, other cities up the river, Memphis and St. Louis. But we're the first. We are the oldest settlement on the Mississippi River, and ever since we've been a settlement and a city, we've had opportunities and activities that really bring people to Southwest Mississippi and historic Natchez.
Tell us a little bit about how this balloon race has grown over the years.
We're fortunate to have a very active Historic Natchez Foundation, and they were looking for a fundraiser, obviously, to raise funds for historic preservation. And in doing so, they came up with the idea of having a balloon race. One of the bankers here in Natchez was participating at the Albuquerque, that's always 2 weeks before this, at the biggest balloon race in the world. And we decided, or they decided at that time, my wife included, to have the first invitational only hot air balloon race in America. And we scheduled it and set it such that it followed the Albuquerque race. And you have to realize that these balloonists that are here are handpicked and selected by invitation. And once they come, all expenses paid for the balloonists, their crew, their gas, their housing, their food, all of their entertainment is on the house for the City of Natchez and the Historic Natchez Foundation.
What do you enjoy the most about the festival each year?
I think the fact that we have world champions, the reigning world champion Ray Debussy is here, is here again this year. He's been a part of this festival for 27 years. And you know, we have people that appreciate hot air balloons, they appreciate the competition, but then the people of the region really love the spectacle of the colors and the excitement of hot air ballooning. Natchez, Mississippi has lots of festivals and lots of entertainment for everybody. Historic preservation. We're the most preserved community of this size in America, at one time hosting the most millionaires in America per capita. We have history, we have culture, we're a very cosmopolitan city. We have one of everything. We can entertain you doing anything that you can do anywhere else in America, one at a time. We don't have hundreds of restaurants, but we have all great restaurants in the limited measure that we have. Accommodations, antebellum homes, B&Bs, new and modern structures. Everything that you can find anywhere, we can outshine you in Natchez, Mississippi. We welcome you and we want your money.